Maddox King on first. Jordan Evans at the plate. King stays put as that one's fouled away for strike one. Don't know when we came back online, but either way, if it just did, welcome back to tonight's broadcast on the SSE Digital Network. Runner on first with the opening single from Maddox King as that one's fouled away, make it 0-2. Evans leading off top of the order. Him and Ponce will get fifth tries at the plate. We'll see if Tampa makes some other changes, however. Coach Urso trying to swap some things up, trying to find some new team leaders for this young Spartans team. A lot of players replacing Spartan legends left and right this season. 1-2 missing outside. One on to start the lucky seventh. Good hustle by King after a pretty good driving play by Allen at short. Popped up, chopped him up there. And catch made at third base, one away. That'll bring up Jesse Ponce for the fifth time today. Single, home run, and a hit by pitch. He's gone on base 3 times today. He's 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. He's scored twice as a base runner. Couldn't make it home after the hit by pitch. Stranded at third with the bases loaded. Ponce will have to deal with a lefty-lefty matchup with Gongwer on the mound. Trying to complete 2 innings out of the bullpen before a righty comes in. Breaking ball missing high and in for ball 1. That fastball curveball combo has been the bread and butter for Gongwer out of the bullpen. 1-0 on the way. Freezes Ponce for strike 1. Wonder who Montevallo will bring in next. Also, potentially, if they bring in fresh players for the offense, trying to get some more experience for some of the young guys. Just like Tampa, Montevallo also having a lot of turnover this season. These opening series, especially because they're out of conference play, sometimes even out of region play, you get a good chance to mix and match to try to do some new things for both teams. 2 balls, 1 strike. Freeze at him, strike 2, make it 2-2 now to Ponce. Just outside, and the count will go full. Now the big question, do they send Maddox King with a full count? Only 1 out, but it might be a good idea. A little bit trickier to run on the left-handed arm. Braden Woodburn's on deck. King stays put. And Ponce is headed back to the dugout. Strike 3, goes down looking. First strikeout for Gong. We're out of the bullpen. And after a lengthy battle, he freezes Ponce to get out number 2. Woodburn, 2 ground outs, a single and a walk. He later scored off his single in the first. Ball 1 outside. He was the last opponent on the mound for Wyatt. If he gets out number 3 right here, he might be the last opponent on the mound for Gongwer. 1-0. High again, 2-0. Good relief outing for Gongwer so far, keeping Tampa relatively quiet. That one drifting inside, but missing. Ball 3. There's a lefty on deck, so if Gongwer walks Woodburn, he would get a lefty-lefty matchup against Jake Books, who has brought home 3 runs today, notably 1 off a walk. Ball 4, and it's a 4-pitch walk. Two on for Jake Books. Solid start for the transfer out of Coastal Carolina. In a previous season at Coastal Carolina, he did have an above 400 on-base percentage. He'll take strike 1. So far today, he has gone on board 3 times, as I mentioned. If he gets on board again, it would set up another plate appearance for Vanacek. Down the line, picked up at first on the hard hop, inning over. Good scoop by Brock, and that'll retire the side. A hit and a walk put base runners aboard, but both of them get stranded to end the frame. No runs, one hit, no errors, two stranded for an unlucky seventh, but Tampa leads 8-0. Seven national championships, 7 Coach of the Year honors for Coach Joe Urso. His legacy continues here at U Tampa, at the house that Urso built, the beautiful Birdcage Stadium. Out in left center field, you can see the 10th national championship banner on the wall. It'll be Holland Brock leading off the top of the 8th. Lash is back on the mound, and he hits him to start the inning. Command has faded away from Lash once again. That's the second time he has plunked a Montevallo batter. We have seen a couple players from Tampa get hit, but from Wyatt and Lash, it's nothing, no bad blood or whatsoever, just bad command. Skill issues, if you will, misinputs, if you will. By the way, the YouTuber who has that famous misinput quote, Moist Critical, is a U Tampa alum. Pretty cool, interesting fact. 1 on, no one out for Caleb Carley. Ball 1 down low. Lash has been able to force double plays in each of the 2 previous frames of the base runner. He did so with 1 out against Fitzgerald. And he did so with no outs against Mason Woollever before getting another ground out to end the 6th inning. 2-0 on the way. Well, this won't be a double play ball, but it should be out number 1. Potts settles under it and makes the catch, battling the night sky. It is a bit tricky to sometimes get to those balls. We saw Turner miss one of them earlier. 1 away. That'll bring up Ian Cartwright, but actually they're going to go to the bench. It'll be Matthew Widra into the game. He'll replace the center fielder who went down on strikes twice. Widra is a redshirt freshman out of Hoover, Alabama, previously at South Alabama University. So he stays in state with his transfer. Widra had 2 at-bats. He did draw a walk. He has had a strikeout, too. He's looking for his first hit with the Falcons, 1-0. Notably, it's a switch to a lefty at the plate. See if they run the platoon advantage against Lash. Foul, make it 1-1. Interesting to see if Lash will stay for the 9th. Tampa would have an 8-0 lead if Lash can get out of this inning cleanly. Wonder if that actually suggests Lash could be in line, potentially work his way into a rotation, or just stay in the swingman role out of the bullpen. Chopped foul, hitting off the batter, make it 0-2. 1-2. So a 1-2 on the way for Widra. Widra hasn't seen 2 balls in an at-bat today. Or Cartwright didn't see 2 balls in an at-bat. Widra might be able to. 1-2 on the way from Lash. Popped up on the curveball that was hung over the middle. It's not going to go deep enough for a home run. Easy catch made. Soto gets out number 2. Runner stays put to bring up Maldet. Fakar at third base. That's the only change Tampa's made on defense. We'll see if anything else is done as well. Maldet, who replaced Callagher, ready to go. Tipped foul, strike 1. Maldet was actually the first opponent for Lash out of the bullpen. And he got hit by a pitch. Two for 8 with runners on today for Montevallo. That's going to be ripped and over the head of Ponce. They aren't going to send the runner to third. First time that Montevallo gets a runner into scoring position. A clean single right there from Aldet. 2 on, 2 away for Mason Woollever. 1 home run, 3 RBIs for the season so far. And Woollever would love a hit to put Montevallo on the board. Montevallo have only left 1 runner on the base path today. They do not want to strand 2 right here. Strike 1 from Lash. Swing and a miss. 0-2. That time got him to go a bit late. Nice two-seamer out of Lash. 1 more strike, and he'll retire the side. Timeout called for Woollever. Once again, shout out John Bennett and Sam Birch, today's umpires. Don't know if either of them will return tomorrow. They are braving the cooler temperatures tonight at the field. Closer to game time, it was about 57, but that number has definitely dropped. I was talking with Coach Chandler Rose, and he lamented the cold weather down here in Florida. It's supposed to be warmer this time of year for these opening series. Didn't go, make it 1-2. It's been cold for a little while down here in Florida. Don't know if that trend will continue tomorrow, but it does continue tonight. 1-2 on the way. Trying to go outside of the curveball, misses. Still 2-2. Woollever hit into a double play last time, but the good news is he's got 2 outs, so he can't do that here. He wouldn't like his first strikeout of the game, but that's what Lash might be going for. Swing and a miss. Swing and a tip. Doesn't go right into the glove. We stay 2-2. There was a similar swing and tip that led to a strikeout. But for now, it just stays 2-2. Hit and foul. Scary. It was out of range of Fakar. But they'll go again. Bottom of the 8th, top coming up next, and it'll come here with strike 3. First strikeout out of the bullpen for Lash. Retires the side. 1 hit, 2 stranded. Tampa still leads 8-0. Mitchell Rhodes gets the call out of the bullpen for Montevallo. He will pick up the bottom of the 8th, the final chance the Spartans have on offense. Rhodes has 1 appearance out of the bullpen this season, a base on balls and a strikeout in 2/3 of an inning. He'll get tasked with all 3 outs here. Vanacek, Irigoyen, and Fikar due up, but we'll see if Tampa makes some substitutions for the final inning at the plate. Irigoyen's yet to get on board today, so we'll have to wait and see if he's going to get another chance. It looks like Vanacek will, however. I'd imagine Widra stays in center field as the replacement for Cartwright. That was one of the fielding changes we saw earlier. Jimenez on his way to first, Urso getting set at third. And headed back to the plate, it's Walker Vanacek, the former State College of Florida transfer. Getting ready to go. Entered today hitting under 200 at 125 in his first few games. He did pick up his first RBI of his Spartans career. Ball 1, breaking ball, missing high. Irigoyen remains on deck. Missing outside, 2-0. Power isn't a huge part of Vanacek's game. He only had 1 home run last season with State College of Florida. But he did deliver a .467 on base and slugging percentage together. 3-0. He might get a free base on balls. Command a little bit shaky for Rhodes out of the bullpen right here. Mitchell Rhodes is a senior, previously at Wallace State, Huntsville. Bottom of the 8th for Tampa's home opener. The series continues tomorrow at 3 p.m. John Luke Lanton, the probable starter for the Spartans. But we'll see what Coach Urso has planned as we continue the series. Mason Creasy is the most likely starter for Montevallo. Given that he was listed as a probable starter from the Montevallo game report, it's an almost certain conclusion that Rose would probably have him as the starter for today. And the 3-1 count misses outside for a leadoff walk. Sadly, Jack Ike couldn't be here tonight, but I know this is where he would mention that the old coach's fable about the leadoff walk, that they'd say that it scores a run about 66% of the time. Now, for Tampa, that might statistically be true, but it really isn't for most baseball teams. Tampa's just very efficient on offense. You don't really score any more runs if it's a leadoff walk or a leadoff hit or a leadoff error or a leadoff hit by pitch. Coaches just tell their players that just to try to discourage it, because you generally don't want to give up a free base on balls to start a frame. Strike 1 fouled away by Irigoyen. Second walk of the season for Mitchell Rhodes. Irigoyen's put a ball on the ground in each of his 4 at-bats. And he almost gets hit as that bounces away from Aldet. A wild pitch brings the runner to scoring position. 1-1 to Irigoyen. And he's in a good spot for an RBI. Popped up. That's probably going to drift too far foul, but giving chase is the first baseman. Bounces. I think it had just escaped the field of play. Was very close, though, to Brock. Make it 1-2. So after stepping off, Rhodes gets set again. Irigoyen gets set again. 1-2 to the Spartan veteran catcher. Good take, 2-2. Last year, Irigoyen hit .313, .395, .476 on his slash line. Plated 37 RBIs with 4 long balls. 2-2 on the way. Ball 3, just outside. Good frame attempt by Maldet, but he couldn't win the call. On deck is Fakar, who will likely stay in the game after entering as a pinch hitter back in the 6th. He's the only player to come off the bench today for Tampa. Tipped. Nope, they're going to say he missed. Strike 3. One away. Fiker ready to go. The team MVP last year at Hillsborough Community College. He's also volunteered with Spartans baseball and flag football camps. Wonder if he'll be doing that more of that this summer. I know baseball camps begin around June. They were advertising it on the board here at the stadium earlier. Speaking of our big board at the stadium, it's an invitation to all our fans listening in to make sure you come on by if you're in the area. No reason that you shouldn't be here tomorrow or Sunday. 3 and 12 p.m. games respectively. Should be fun action as Tampa opens the season and then continues on throughout February, March, April as Tampa is looking for a three-peat for championship number 11. Here's the 1-1 to Fikar. Fouled back, 1-2. Looking at the bench, not seeing a lot of aggressive warm-up swings. Nope. That was just because Javi Soto was helping get that foul ball. He is ready to go. And there are 2 outs, as that's a swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Rhodes. Cool recovery for Rhodes after the leadoff walk. 2 straight Ks to bring up Javi Soto. 1 hit on 4 plate appearances. Ground out, pop out, and a strikeout alongside the RBI single. He advanced to second on that single with an error on the play. Swing and a miss 0-1. That error didn't have an unearned run score against Wyatt because the run didn't score off the error. It was coming home no matter what. The error just allowed Soto to reach second on the play. He then got stranded there as the count goes 0-2. Good stuff from Rhodes as he looks to strike out the side. Last chance saloon on the way for Montevallo. Will it be another scoreless frame to take the Falcons there? 0-2 to Javi Soto, outside 1-2. Trying to see if there's action out in the Spartans bullpen. Don't know if Lash will be back on the mound. But we'll have to wait a bit longer to find out. 2-2. Beautiful night here on the UTampa campus. The big lights at the stadium shining bright, including that big scoreboard. And the Tampa skyline far in the back. 2-2 to Javi Soto. Strike 3 gets him looking. The throw to first was just for insurance. Inning over. We'll be back in the top of the 9th. So, making his first appearance of the season, it'll be Tobin Moran. He redshirted in 2025, still a part of the national championship winning side. And in 2024, he had 30 innings out of the bullpen to a 4.99 ERA. He was also the 2023 Mid-Florida Pitcher of the Year at Santa Fe College. He's another Santa Fe product who made his way to UTampa. The senior ready to go this season for the Spartans. He'll be picking up the 9th inning to hold on to this 8-run lead. And after missing last season, we'll see him back to work for the first time since 2024. He'll be facing the top of the Montevallo order. Hudson Allen, McGuire Turner, and Evan Radford due up. I don't think the Falcons will make any changes at the plate, however. 3 outs to go for the Spartans to make it 3-0 on the season. Satin would be in line for the win after his stellar 12-strikeout day. Honestly, a historic night for the Spartans. Almost got him onto the top 10 leaderboard for most strikeouts in a game in Spartans history. Already mentioned the record was held by Bo Donaldson back in 1996 with 17. I'd have to check, however, the innings of those individual games to see if maybe that was the best strikeout percentage from a given starter over that 5-inning frame. Make it 1-1 in the foul ball. It is a shame we didn't see Satin back for the 6th, but definitely Urso thinking long-term about the call to the bullpen, and we did see Lash with a great inning out of the bullpen, or great 3 innings rather. Fanning 1, giving up 2 hits, but not giving up any runs. That one's popped up in range for Irigoyen. Is that off the net? Yes, it is. That actually rolls over the net into the seats. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Big whiff, and Moran gets his first strikeout of the season. One away for McGuire Turner, who's had a really good day in the field today. But apart from a hit in the 7th, he's been quiet at the plate. Only 3 hits for the Falcons today. And every single time that a base runner got aboard via hit, with the exception of the very first one, they were then eliminated or stranded on base. Well, actually, no, they all were stranded on base or eliminated. Anyway, 0-1. Not going to be 0-2. That's going to be rolled to first. Takes a weird bounce away from Vanacek. Call it an error on the first baseman. And it is another base runner for the Falcons. We'll have to wait and see if that's called a hit or an error. It's definitely a close call. Would be Tampa's first error of the game. Either way, it's a runner on for Evan Radford with 1 away. We've seen Tampa convert double plays before, and they are going to call that a base hit for Turner. Bradford didn't hit into a double play. He had a pop-out, fly-out in the 7th. It was the man on deck who hit into a double play with 1 away. Jack Fitzgerald. We'll see if Fitzgerald gets another chance or if Tampa ends it right here. The infield is ready. It's Fikar, Ponce, Woodburn, Vanacek. Timeout called by Radford. Also a motion to Moran. You've had a couple of these little interruptions, violations, and things today. 0-1. Moran to Turner. Or to Bradford. 0-2. That one sent deep foul. Where it's going to land by the dugout. Nope, lands very far away. I do think it stayed within the realms of the ballpark, however. A little bit less traffic on the roads around the UTampa campus tonight. Earlier in the game, that's where the foul balls can be a little more dangerous. Wonder how busy the roads will be on Saturday. On the other side of campus, so the right side of the field, by Pepin Stadium, there will be less student traffic as well. No classes on Saturday. Moran gets set for the 0-2. Ripped into the gap. That's got a lot of carry. But it is caught on the run. The center fielder sliding in, almost making the catch. However, standing on his feet, Soto makes the play. I like the effort from King. Good job avoiding his teammate on the slide. 2 away for Fitzgerald. He won't be able to hit into a double play this time, but safe to say that the red-hot rookie has gone a little bit cold today against Satin and Lash He now gets to take on Tobin Moran. First pitch from Moran. Ripped to left field, but it should be in range for Soto. That's the ball game. And with Tampa getting out of the jam this time around, they will win their home opener 8-0. Robert Satin with a historic performance. 12 strikeouts in 5 almost perfect frames. Set the table for Tampa on offense to deliver. 8 runs on 11 hits. They did pick up no errors in the final frame. Montevallo, no runs, 4 hits, and an error. They left 4 on base. Tampa left 12 on base, but crucially, they scored more than enough to start the season right. It's the exact game you want to start the homestand for Tampa. And with that, their record bumps up to 3-0. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Montevallo will have to put the pieces back together as their 2-game winning streak comes to a close as they get shut out for the first time this season. Question will be whether their red-hot offense from the previous weekend can resurface as both teams will pivot away from their aces. Certainly player of the game, Robert Satin, with that legendary outing. He'll be back next weekend, but we'll be back tomorrow with more action. I'm Taylor Storthy. Thank you for tuning in. Final score, the number 1 ranked Spartans 8, Montevallo 0.